Hello and welcome to Scrapping on the Fly. My name is Kristen and I am back with another Follow a Sketch February. It is day 9 and Follow a Sketch February is through Scrapping Reflections on Facebook or State Goddess on YouTube. And day 9 sketch has some smaller sketch pictures, and I can't tell what that says. It kind of looks like a page maps sketch, but I can't tell for sure. So this is it. It has 4 smaller pictures and some layers in the middle, some wood grain background paper, which I don't think I'll be using because my theme for this one is baby. So I have these 4 baby pictures of my nephew, who I guess officially is my cousin, but we usually just call him my nephew. So there are those. I have these scraps of baby boy paper that I'm going to try and use for matting if I can. If not, maybe part of the layers. I have a couple different sticker sheets that I want to start using. I've had these since my son was born in 2012, so I would like to get them used up. This is Pebbles Incorporated and BoBunny. I've used some lately, but I've had these since, like I said, 2012, and just started using these in the last 6 months. I also have a bin that's labeled baby boy, and I have been going through this lately trying to get as much used in here and put on layouts because we've got some new babies in the family. So I'm going to set that close by so I can pull some things out of there if need be. And I'm going to use this Hooray Baby paper pad from the Paper Studio. I have some, these are my scraps. I'm not getting into them because not on camera while it's on sound because that bag is so loud. So this is the paper I want to use, some of the embellishments, and I've got my pictures. So I'm going to try and cut these down as small as I can, but obviously it'll probably be close to a 4x4 or a 3.5x3.5 maybe. So I've got everything I need and my sketch. So let's see how this goes. All right, so the first thing that I did was trim down my pictures, and I took the biggest picture that I had. Well, I mean, they're all 4x6, but he was the closest up in this picture, so I knew that however big that one was going to be is the size I would make the rest of them. So 4 inches was a close call, so I left them all at 4x4, which is bigger than in the sketch, but I'm totally okay with that. I still went with the idea of the sketch. So I flipped through that paper pad because I wanted to see if I could find a background page, but then decided I wanted to find my scraps for the underlying part first so that I'd see what I needed to use. So I cut this gray and white stripe is 9x9 because my pictures are going to be 8x8 if they were right next to each other, and I wanted a little space. So originally, like in the sketch, I had them kind of tilted off a little bit, but it wasn't going to look right, partially because that background paper is stripes, and partially because my pictures are bigger, and I felt like it needed to be straight. Sometimes I can handle cockeyed pictures, and sometimes I just need them to be straight. So I put them all down eyeball straight. I don't typically measure, but I usually will eyeball it, which can get me into trouble sometimes, but typically it works out just fine. So I get all those down, and I didn't want the 2 red pictures right next to each other. They were probably taken on the same day, but I wanted them to be separated, so I put one on the top and one on the bottom, and decided that I wanted to tear the page. So I cut a lot of that out because you just tear the page. I did not tear the top. I wanted that to be flat. So now I'm looking through the paper pad to find out what is going to stand out the best and help these papers work for me. And I decided to go along with this reddish pink color, even though, yes, he is a boy. Because of the red in his shirt, I felt like this was the perfect color to be different enough for all the background papers, because the background papers are white with colors, gray with colors, and blue with colors. So I didn't want any of those to be the background, or I would have had to have matted or something. So I get all the papers I want to use picked out and just start playing with them. And I used up some scraps, which I love, and you totally could do this with a bunch of long strips or smaller pieces and use more than 4 or 5. I end up using a 5th piece so I can extenuate that one right there. I was just using on the top right corner. I ended up using another piece of very similar paper that has the hot air balloons, and it's the blue, but to help it come out further. So I just add a piece of tape to each one of them. And I know that this one down here I'm going to want with a little space in the bottom so that I have room for either journaling or clusters or whatever. So I put that one down with about 1.5 inches space from the bottom of the picture mat to the bottom of the page, and then about 1 inch on the side. So I know it's not going to be even all the way around, but it's not even in the sketch either. It is kind of, some things are sticking out further than the others. So here's where I'm going to add 2 different pieces of blue paper. They're not exactly the same. One has words on it and one of them just has the balloons. And so I put one down. I want it to come out and up a little bit higher and a little bit further over. And then I wanted to make sure there was no gap in the middle. So I added this other one, and I love the way that looks. However, I want it to stand out a little. The first thing is I did not mat my pictures. It doesn't look matted in the layout sketch or in the sketch. So this is a way that I will, if I don't want to add more layers, I will take a pen and just trace around it. And if you are concerned about the pen like inking on there, just do like sketchy lines. They don't have to be neat or straight, just sketch. And then I decided that I wanted this to stand out a little bit more from the paper in the background. So I inked loosely all the way around, and I really love doing that because it adds a little bit more color, a little more definition. So I've got my papers down, and now I'm ready to start embellishing. The title's supposed to go up in the top left corner sideways. I don't normally like my title sideways, so I try to put it like that, but it just doesn't look right. Covers a little bit of paper, so I go ahead and tuck it in sideways. And I am going to go ahead and title this Little Prince or Lil Prince, which is what that sticker says. And that's from the BoBunny. And I'm trying to decide, the only other ones that I like the phrasing are the green, and the green is drastically different than the green in any of the papers I'm using. Is almost more of an aqua, and this is mint on the stickers, so I didn't bring any of that in. There's some green in the picture, but I just decided that I would stick with the only little bit there is the word Lil, where it says Lil Prince. But that was not enough for me to bring in more of that green stickers. So I took one of these little tags and I cut it in half. I know you're supposed to flip them over, but one side of that would be wasted because you wouldn't see it. So I cut it in half, put one on the right and one on the left. And then I put that little boy blue in the bottom right corner. I'm not going to put my date there, and I'm not doing any real journaling. It's just pictures of my cousins. I am so sorry. I felt that one coming. It is just pictures of my cousin's son, and so there's not really any story behind any of these other than these pictures are from the summer of 2006, which I will find a place to put that. So I get some of the word phrases from this BoBunny, and I they're all stuck together, so you cut them. So I use the word slumber and asleep and cuddles, and I put those in a couple of different places. And then I decide I need something else, and I want something in the sketch. There's a little heart in the middle of the 4 pictures, and I want something there, but I don't know if I want a heart. I'm just kind of debating. So there's animals on this layout already in the pictures and everything. So I wanted to find something that would go along with that. There's also animals on his car seat, which is in the top right picture. And so I thought that I would look for something along those lines. So I found a couple of different things, and I was trying to decide what was going to work. And I then remembered I had this little teddy bear that I've had for, I couldn't even tell you how long. It is like a little stuffed animal. It's very puffy. It probably comes off of my page like, I don't know, almost 3/4 of an inch. It's thick. So, but I feel like this is going in my 2020 book, and I think I have it to where these are going to fit into 2 books. My 2021 is in 6 books. So I'm hoping that maybe I can get 2020 in just a couple. So we shall see. If I keep adding 1/2-inch stuffed animals, that might not work for me. So anyway, I pulled these little stars off of this Miss Grossman's sticker set. There's some phrases on there that would work, but none of them really will fit. So I just use the stars for a little cluster. Make sure that little bear is down. And then I get my paper piercer, and I'm going to use these little hands. These are so old. I mean, they're Paper Studio brand. But I have no clue where I got them. My son was born in 2009. And most of my baby boy things are from when he was either before he was born, after he was, or very shortly after he was born. So I would say that those are from 2010, my guess, or earlier. So I use those, and I later, once the stuffed animal in the middle is nice and firm and dry on the layout, I flip that over and I put, I almost said masking tape. I put washi tape on the back where the brad tines go, because I don't want them to get caught on other layouts and tear my layouts up. So I put washi over the back. And I'll do that on the bottom with the feet as well. And I put them really close together. The hands are overlaying on each other a little bit. So then I decide that I want to use some of my favorite things. My Ranger Tim Holtz Distress inks. I love putting these on pages. And the last couple pages I did either didn't work or fit, or I guess it could have and I just didn't do it. So I want to use blue and add a little blue into this reddish and white plaid or checkered print. I don't know. And so, of course, I want to cover it up. So when I order from Walgreens, I always get this starting picture that has the first and last picture in the set. So I always keep those because they're the perfect thing to use to cover your pictures while you're inking. However, I've done this before. I set it down too low and the ink gets on the picture, and then I move it and it smears. So you can see right there in the bottom left corner that there is like some smearing, and I'm frustrated with that. So I want to cover it, but I don't want it to look ridiculous. So I pulled this little thing, Precious Moments thing out, and I am sorry that I didn't see that before. I probably would have worked that in over there on the left side because it had a little sleeping baby on a moon. So anyway, I pull out this Paper Bliss little journaling rectangle that's got little blue buttons and a giraffe on it. So cute. I don't need the rest of those because I don't want to add a whole lot of extra on the bottom, but I do want something where I can journal, which is what I was going to look for anyway. And this has the little animals on it like there are in the papers and on the car seat. So it was fitting. Plus I've got the little stuffed bear. So I tuck that in right there. It covers my boo-boos, and I write after I'm done recording, I wrote on there his name and summer 2006. And if I decide to write any more journaling, there is a little bit more space on this little card. And it's so cute. It's 3D, and it's got little buttons on it and some stitching, and it's super lovely. And it fits. It doesn't look like it's there covering up a boo-boo, but you all know. So I'm going to show you the back of this. It says 2004, you all. 2004. Crazy. So I'm going to show you the sketch and up close of the layout, and that's it for today. So I hope you all had a great day. I hope that you got something out of this, and I hope you'll come back and see me. So have a great day, and happy scrapping.